Golf Central on YouTube, brought to you by the Chrome Soft Golf Ball from Callaway.
Hi there, I'm Todd Lewis, and this is your Golf Central update, where there is a will, there is a way in regards to winning on the PGA Tour. I'm talking about Will Zalatoris with that big, monumental playoff victory over Sepp Straka. Took 3 playoff holes for Zalatoris to get the win. Hats off to Straka, by the way, who entered this championship coming off 6 consecutive missed cuts on the PGA Tour. But Zalatoris not only picks up his first win, but he does so in his first ever playoff event. He played well last year, but wasn't a member, did not qualify for the playoffs. And after 4 runner-up finishes on the PGA Tour, Zalatoris relieved to finally cross the threshold and get a victory.
It's kind of hard to say about time when it's been your second year on tour, but about time. Obviously, this week was kind of a grind considering the start that I had. I love this golf course. I played well here last year. Yeah, considering all the close finishes that I've had this year, to finally pull it off it means a lot. Yeah, I mean, I think anytime you put yourself in contention, you're gonna learn something about yourself. And you know, the first second that I had at the Masters was life-changing because it put me in position, to play out here as much as I wanted to and put me kind of on the map. The second at the PGA was kind of affirmation that it wasn't a fluke of a week, and then the third one at the U.S. Open gave me that much more belief that I can win a major, or I can win out here. And it was just a matter of time. And obviously, this was my week.
We were talking to your coach. He's from here. How significant is that to you, a guy you've worked with for a few years, and getting your first win in his hometown? Yeah, no, I mean, he's a softie underneath it all. He cried like a baby. I think I alluded to this when I was handed the trophy, that Josh was, when I made the putt and on the 72nd hole, he jumped up on a side of a hill, and I think he pulled his calf or something like that. And so I didn't see him up until I got the trophy. So he cried like a baby. Yeah, it's pretty cool to do this, obviously. And, he's been there for me, through the ups and the downs over the last few years. And it's pretty cool to do it in his hometown, and obviously with him here too.
It sounded like when you made the putt on the 72nd hole, you said, what are they going to say now? It's obviously probably a very instinctual and kind of emotional moment. Why do you think that's what came out in that moment?
Yeah, I did say that. I'm a big Warriors fan, and obviously Steph, he's a Cal Club guy. He's a pretty big inspiration, obviously. I follow the Warriors like crazy, and when he said that, it kind of related to kind of my journey so far. And so being that close, and then kind of being written off here and there, and then obviously finally pulling off, it was I actually can't believe I said that, actually. At least it wasn't something worse. But yeah.
You mentioned the kind of the ups and downs. I'd just be curious when the last downs were, and what's your definition of downs? Yeah, I mean, I think at the last fall was a pretty rough period for me. Being hurt through the middle of the season last year, I got pretty frustrated with where my game was at, really from the players through probably the Nelson. And then really from the PGA forward, to me, has kind of been a new season. I think Josh and I kind of found our blueprint with the putting and chipping, taking a lot more ownership in my golf swing. And I'm now hitting shots freer, because some days the cut's going to work, some days the draw is going to work, but just be consistent with it. And I think, like I said, I think from the PGA going forward has kind of been a new season.
News Monday surrounding Cam Smith, who is currently number 3 in the FedEx Cup playoffs and eligibility points list. He has withdrawn from the BMW Championship. That, according to his agent. Cam has been dealing with some on and off hip discomfort for several months and thought it would be best to rest this week in pursuit of the FedEx Cup. All right, taking a look at the new FedEx Cup playoffs and eligibility points list. Will Zalatoris in the driver's seat at number 1. Scotty Scheffler drops to number 2 after missing the cut. Smith sitting at number 3. He's likely going to drop some spots by not playing this week. Could be very difficult for him to catch up at Eastlake if he tees it up there. Meanwhile, we're down to just 70 players remaining in the FedEx Cup playoffs as we head to Wilmington, Delaware for the BMW Championship. 4 players moving in due to their finish in Memphis. Lucas Glover jumped 87 spots with his tied for 3rd finish, going from 121 to 34th. Adam Scott, Andrew Putnam, and Wyndham Clark also getting in. Edamar Lahiri is the first man out after dropping 8 spots. Let's hear from some of the guys who made it to Delaware.
Yeah, it's nice. Kind of similar situation a couple years ago, and had 1.5 good weeks, and ended up in Atlanta. So that was kind of in the back of my head, and thought, just got to get to the next week, and then everybody's got a shot. So.
You nervous out there at any time?
Nervous? No. Aggressive? Just same as the last. Trying to get, still trying to win. I knew probably pretty safe for next week, and got a little frisky on the last, but really pleased the way I played.
Great week. I didn't have my best stuff today, on the greens or off the tee, and that's not a good combo at this place. So, I did a great job of managing myself today. Made birdies on holes that I could have, and didn't make any big numbers, and that was huge this week. On 18, I hit a great chip shot to even have a chance to make a par, and so, job done. I'm a little disappointed in how I played today. I learned a lot about myself, though, and some tendencies I'm going to have to work on. So, all in all, great week.
How much scoreboard watching was there from a top 70 standpoint, and then once you got within a stroke or two of the lead, the actual tournament itself?
Not a ton, because, Will was playing so good. I was just trying to keep up. I was just trying to. And I wasn't hitting it great. I was trying to scramble all day. And when I hit good shots, I off the tee, I gave myself good looks. The putter on the front 9, I got behind the 8 ball early. Made a run there on the back 9 at the early beginning with 3 birdies. And, the 3 putt on 15 kind of knocked the wind out of our sails a little bit. But, hey, it's a learning experience. Grateful to be where I am, and I'm looking forward to next week.
It was satisfying getting through, I guess, ultimately, but I played really poorly yesterday and somehow shot a decent score, and to turn it around and play solid today and give myself a chance to go through, I'm happy with that, and I get to play 4 rounds next week, and my golf's been pretty good, and I've got nothing out of it. I feel, even though I'm not winning this event, I feel like I'm getting something out of the week. So hopefully that's good for the confidence going into next week, and somehow have a big week and get through to East Lake. Honestly, I felt like my game is in a good enough spot that I wasn't searching for anything this week, and it was really about putting my mind to do something and getting it done. And I think that's sometimes the hardest thing at this point in my career, is week after week, switching the mind on all the time, floating around on autopilot sometimes, and that doesn't get you very far. So I had to focus a little bit more this week.